Hello and welcome to a new episode of Deep Reinforcement Learning with Unity. In the last video, we have learned how to tune hyperparameters and how to use TensorBoard to log the training process. We have also learned how to add new parameters to the TensorBoard. In today's video, we will see how to bake in strategies during the training process by changing the rewards or by changing the way how we set up the environment. And we will use then our new trained agent and compare it with the benchmark which we have trained in the previous video. And with this, let's get started. In case you have not watched the previous video yet, take a look at it before you continue with this one. And with this, we directly continue with our next strategy where we teach the agent to not fall from the platform. Implementing this strategy is very simple. We just have to give a strong penalty for the agent when he falls from the platform. So the reward for falling will be negative and compared to the reward for winning, quite large. So -5 is a good value. And then we can directly start a new training with this strategy. So we can use the configuration from the previous video, set the run ID to strategy 2. And this should be the run where we have the aim to not fall from the platform. And then we can directly start a training and at the same time also take a look at the TensorBoard. In the TensorBoard, we will see that every time when the player is falling, the player gets a strong negative reward of -5. Every time when it's winning, it gets +1 or +2. So the cumulative reward is around -3 in the beginning. So in the average of all the games which we run simultaneously, the average reward is around -3. And as you see, when we update the TensorBoard, the agent learns already to not fall down too often, and the fall percentage will decrease very fast, especially very fast compared to the run which we had before, because the agent tries to avoid the strong penalty. And if we take a look at the visualization of all the games together, it looks like, yes, 50% of fall percentage is approximately correct. So the change in the implementation of the fall percentage from last video works. So now we can go back to the TensorBoard and look at the statistics. And there we see that the fall percentage goes down fastly. And also if we compare the cumulative rewards, we see that it's increasing very steep. And also the cumulative reward reaches the level of the benchmark. And that's good, and we can take a look at the visual results again. So there we see that the agent tries to reach the big target, and if it cannot reach the big target, it's not falling from the platform, but rather going to the small target. Even though my laptop had some problems during recording, so you actually do not see too much. Sorry for this. And if we take a look at all of the games, we see that there are nearly no red fields existent anymore. So the overall results look good. The fall percentage is very small, around 10%, and the cumulative reward is quite high. Not as high as before, but this is also due to the fact that every time when the agent falls, it gets a -5 reward, which brings the cumulative reward down in the cases when the agent is falling. So after only 1 million training units, the agent has learned how to not fall from the platform. But on the other hand, the agent also has not trained yet with a moving big target. Since this is the hardest level, we want to take a look into it now. And we want to train the agent to catch the large target, but without falling from the platform. So let's take a look if we can do this. So the next step of training is to increase the speed of the large target. So let's go to the prefab, click on the agent, and then in the script change the velocity scale of the big target to the value of 6, which is according to our most complicated environment. So let's click play and take a look how it looks like. We see that the big target is moving in every of the games and falling down from the platform. And that's super. So now I want to show you a little trick for the training. I want to continue training, so I want to resume the training, but under a new name. So we can just copy our results folder with all the logging information and rename it. So for example, strategy 3, fall penalty, and big target moving, or whatever you want. And then we can use this reference results name to resume a training with new environment settings. So in the configuration file, we have to adjust the maximum amount of steps because we want to continue training more than only 1 million of steps. And in our Unity environment, we have now a faster ball. And in the command line for the training in the terminal, we just have to change the name of the run ID. And then we click or we add the flag to resume the training, and then the training continues in the new folder which we just defined. And yeah, do not forget this -- resume flag in the end of the command line prompt, because otherwise it gives you an error. So if you type -- resume, then the training continues after this 1 million steps and trains up to 2 million steps. So now when we take a look at the TensorBoard, we will see that our new strategy 3 in cyan colors, is equivalent to the one in red, strategy 2 for the fall penalty, up to the 1.2 millionth step. And after this, the strategy will continue or resuming the training, and then you see it as an individual line. And now I actually wanted to show you the full screen again, but my laptop was overwhelmed with recording and training at the same time, so you don't see the progress of the training at the moment. But when we take a look in the TensorBoard, we see that there is a sharp change in the fall percentage, in the episode length, in the cumulative reward. This is because the ball will fall from the platform, and the agent also will fall at some point from the platform, and then the reward will make this big jump. By the way, this method of increasing the difficulty step by step has a certain name in reinforcement learning. It's called curriculum learning. And there the agent basically has a curriculum which it follows step by step to learn first the easy parts and then harder and harder environments. If you are interested in how to automate this process, write it in the comments. So if we take a look at the agent and the progress it makes, it looks quite good so far. The agent first tries to reach the big target, and if he cannot reach it, then it goes to the alternative small target without falling from the platform. Now we can also take a look at a comparison between our benchmark and our new strategy, and we see that the benchmark and the strategy have approximately the same cumulative reward, even though we have to say that this comparison is a bit unfair because our new strategy has this negative fall reward. So if we set this to 0 and continue then the training, we should get a better comparison between benchmark and this strategy. So if we do this and resume the training, we see that the cumulative reward is now increasing since there is not this strong penalty, and it goes above the reward which we reached with our benchmark. The fall percentage is similarly low, and the episode length is much longer than for the benchmark, so the player is not falling from the platform and has a longer time on top of the platform. So, and after 5 million training steps, we are done with the training, and we now can compare the results with the ones from our benchmark. The comparison will be a bit more detailed, so in the next video we will take a look on all these different levels and compare them with each other. But as I said, it will be part of the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you want to support me on this journey, please consider to like and subscribe. And if you want to support me a bit more, you can do this on these platforms. Thanks a lot and see you next time.